Good morning, That Homestead family here. And before I take you out to the garden, I just wanted to show you what I'm looking at in my kitchen right now. Tomatoes. 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 So I am overwhelmed with tomatoes right now. But I'm not complaining. I just need to get to work on putting some tomatoes away. So let's go out to the garden and see what's going on out there. Cherry tomatoes on the back porch. Finally have a couple of little tomatoes and some more flowers. This has not been the prolific plant that I thought it would be. And I think it's because I've got too many plants in one pot and I have a thinning problem. I have a problem pulling up plants to help the others grow because I feel like I'm like, no, I'm discarding you. And it's like, seriously, does anybody have this plant problem? Like, plants are, you get attached to them like you do your pets. It's an actual thing. Bear, you ready to go to the garden? Huh? All right. So here we go. I love walking out here in the mornings and I love showing you guys what's going on. I was able to share with the neighbors this week and give them a little bit of something from every part of our garden. And it just does my heart so good when I am able to give something that I was able to grow from seed and have something to give to our friends across the fence. So let me show you our tomatoes. They're doing nicely. Still getting some good ones on here. Now this bed is doing so much better than this bed. And I don't know if you can see on the video the brown on the leaves, but these are really struggling. But they're still putting out real well, so you know, we just do what we can do, and they're still blooming, and so we're excited about that. Y'all, look at these gorgeous blooms. This is our loofah gourd vine, and I just think the flowers on these loofah gourds are some of the prettiest blooms in the garden, and it's really taken off now. There's another one. It's going up over, and then the other side is doing the same thing. So we're gonna have some loofah gourds again this year, and it's gonna be exciting. While I'm here, last week I planted some dill and some sweet basil and sage and some dark purple basil, and that's our dill that's finally come up. There's some of the sage that has come up, and even our dark purple. That's hard to see, but that's it right there. That's our dark purple basil that's come up. The only thing I haven't seen sprout yet is the sweet basil, but oh, that might be it. I believe it is. So it's come up as well. So I'm excited about this section of the garden having just some herbs and things. I have a small herb garden on the back porch that I have basil, what do I have? Oregano, and I can't remember, a couple of parsley in it on the back porch, and it's great. But I think this will be much more fun because it's big enough to have a little more variety here, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so here's part of the good, the bad, and the ugly. This cucumber has seen its last days, and I'm sad to see it go, but we will be pulling this up and replacing it with something else very soon. We're still getting a few cucumbers, but this is one thing that I noticed. Do you see how they're starting to become odd shaped? So it's a nice one right there. Good one for pickling. But I can't. There we go. But see this? This starts happening. I notice this starts happening towards the end of a cucumber plant's life. And they're not really lush and green anymore, but they have given us, here's one back here, given us lots of cucumbers this year. And we've put up several quarts of, I think I had 6 quarts of bread and butter pickles, and we've done the dill pickles in the crock, which will be done this Sunday, so I'm excited about that. These are my favorite right here. These are the best size for pickling. So I need to be picking some of these and getting them in the kitchen. This is one plant that the ladybugs, if you watched our video on releasing the ladybugs, this is one plant that has actually kept the ladybugs that are still on this plant. But you'll see something new here soon in this bed. Here's our carrots. They're coming along nicely as well. So we're excited. We just ate up the last bit of carrots from our last harvest, so we'll be picking these in the next little bit. We're certainly excited about these grapes, y'all. Look at these. Let me show you see if you can see the size. They're still small, but we've never had grapes before like this. We've had muscadines, but we've never had the Concord grapes. So we're excited about these growing. So our squash are finally starting to get a good hold in the garden and starting to grow. There are blossoms everywhere, and I picked quite a few, and that's one of the things I was able to share with our neighbors this week was some squash. Who doesn't love fried squash and onions? I mean, that's like my favorite recipe. Maybe I will do a video on fried squash and onions. Our whole family loves it. So here are the squash, and they're starting to fill up this bed. So those down there on the very end were the first 2 that got planted, and these, if you'll remember, were originally hit by the cold. Some of them are the original ones that it stunted them and it took them longer to come out, but they finally did. And then some of them we added in. The ones that are a little bit bigger are the ones I think we added in to fill in the gaps. But look at these blossoms. I just love this one. I see a few aphids on it. Aphids are the devil, I'm telling you. We fight these things all the time. Beautiful flowers. There's one with a squash coming. I just picked yesterday, so I'm not sure there's gonna be much in here. There's one there. There's one down there. Just beautiful. And look at these pretty purple hull peas. I love the flowers on these. They're just so delicate and beautiful. And then these are actually the pea pods coming out of the plant. I've got some that are much more mature. Here's one, but these aren't actually ready yet. When these pods turn a purple color, that's when they're ready to pick. And I think this is our favorite vegetable in the garden, the peas. We canned, I think, 8 pints last year of purple hulls, and so I'm excited about being able to put up some more purple hulls. Okay, so I think I told you guys about the problem with the other bed of purple hulls and how the leaves curled up. They've actually created some pea pods, but they're curled as well. So this is like a nuclear bed over here or something. It's really odd looking. Let me show you what's going on in this bed. Okay, so I just showed you some pea pods on that last bed. Look at these. Look how they're like curled. They're actually making pods, but I don't even know if they're gonna make anything edible. Is that not weird looking? The weirdest thing. Just crazy. We cannot figure out what caused this, but does it not look like something from, I don't know, third world or something? Okay, so looks like we have finally got a sweet gypsy pepper that is starting to get some color to it. I'm excited, guys. I have tried to be so patient with these sweet gypsy peppers, and finally it's very subtle, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but that one's starting to get a little bit of an orange color to it. And Mr. Homestead just reminded me, look at these jalapenos. If you don't know what jalapenos are, they taste like jalapenos without the heat. And he was telling me I needed to get some. Good morning.
Hey.
Need to get some cream cheese to put in the jalapenos.
Cream cheese and bacon, so you can wrap them up.
Yeah,
and cook them
make some poppers. Yum. The corn is really getting some height to it now, and I've got some more planted in the greenhouse that I haven't seen pop up yet. Sunflowers are looking pretty. They're getting strong and getting taller, so this is exciting. We may actually have, after 4 or 5 attempts, we may actually have some corn this year. We're so excited about it. Okay, here's another oddity. I guess this is a garden tour with the odd things. Look at these curls at the top of these banana peppers. I don't know if it's trying to put out new
Maybe they're
peppers.
relatives to the peas. They're a long lost cousin of our purple hulls. It's curled
some
up all
weird
over the
stuff
place.
happening. I think I need to pick some
Yeah, look
banana
here.
peppers today. They're getting pretty big.
Look
Yeah.
there. I wonder if that's the kind that we bought.
I don't know. We've never really left them on the plant as long as I'm leaving these, because I saw some at the farmer's market that were much larger. So I was like, I'm going to let them grow and see how big they'll get. But now they're growing some tumors on them or something. I don't know.
It's not a tumor.
Okay, so the Seminole pumpkins have completely covered the bed at this point, coming out of the bed all over. But I want to show you the size of these blooms. This is just, let me put my hand, let me see if I can hold it back and put my hand. That's the flower, that's my hand. Gigantic blooms. It's just amazing. There's a few over here and some of our pumpkins coming on there. It's just phenomenal. I love these kinds of new things that I've never grown before, and just seeing the variety in what every plant does. We're really close to pulling up some watermelons, I think. One especially, the first one I think we saw, is getting that yellow bottom to it. I'm just waiting for the tendril to die a little bit, and then I think we're gonna pick that. It's Memorial Day weekend. We may pick it this weekend just to see. I don't know, but this is what we're looking at. Look at that watermelon. So I'm thinking this will die off a little bit, but if I roll it over, let's see if I can get under there. Do you see the yellowness on the bottom of it? That's starting to happen. So also look at the color green of this one, and then look at the color green of that one. I'm thinking that I'm told that the color changes when they're ready as well. So they start out a lighter green and they get darker and darker. And we've even got some more blooms down here. This poor little one is so deformed. What is going on in our garden? Look at that. I don't think it's gonna grow. I think something happened to it. I don't know. I know Roots and Refuge Farm talks about fused blossoms on tomatoes that'll make those big cat head tomatoes, and they'll fuse together. This may be what that happened there, was a fused blossom, and that's what caused that deformed look. But this is another good size watermelon there. We've got these going on over here, that one. And then look at the little blooms by it. So we may still be getting more new ones. There's a little bitty one right there. Can you see it? I don't know if it's focusing or not. Last week I showed you where our blackberries have actually started making berries, and then the other two bushes caught on and they've got blossoms on them. And so looks like we're gonna get some blackberries after all this year. There's the blooms right there. Here's these berries coming along. And another bloom on that one. So then that brings me to the sweet potatoes that are finally starting to run and cover the bed, so that's exciting as well. So there's a row of onions. It's like Mr. Homestead turned the soaker hose on. So they're getting thick. There's our harvested cucumbers. Mr. Homestead found quite a few more after I looked through them. Someone told us about a recipe of putting cream cheese in cucumbers. You don't cook them, you just put cucumbers in those. I mean, you put cream cheese and avocado and everything but the bagel seasoning in. And like, you hollow out the cucumber, get the seeds out of the middle of the cucumber, and put cream cheese, avocado, everything but the bagel seasoning, and put all that in the cucumber hull basically, and that, I'm told they're delicious. So that's another recipe we're probably going to try. So last but not least, I wanted to show you a little project we had yesterday. Our compost bin has gotten close to being full, and I felt like it's never going to completely break down as long as I continue adding compost to it. So it needs a little bit of time to just decompose, rest, and, you know, get ready to be soil, some time to just turn into soil. So we decided to add on to our compost bin, add another bin, and then start putting our compost kitchen scraps from the kitchen in the other side, so that side the first side can rest a little bit. So here's what we did with that. This was the first side, and as you can see, we had a fence in front of this to keep the animals out, but now that it's full and we're gonna let it just stop, we've put a block wall in front of it. I'm not a bricklayer, guys, so it's not the best kind of brickwork, but it works, it does the job. So this is our second bin, and I didn't realize it. I thought I was making it the same size as this one, but it's actually like a half a block longer, so it'll be a little bit larger than the first one. And you can see I put scraps in the bottom already. I need to put some grass or leaves or hay on top of that to keep it from smelling. But so that's our compost bin. I actually took some of the dirt that we had from our potatoes that we harvested a couple of weeks ago and just kind of covered the top with that, a bucket of that dirt. But we're working on the composting process, and hopefully we get to the point where we don't have to call in somebody and say, hey, we need a load of compost. We can like have compost from years, you know, of collecting, that each year when we start our new beds, we can just say, okay, let's grab some compost from the bin, add it to the bed. So we will have everything we need to, you know, be able to be a little more self-sustainable. That's all it's about for us, is just learning to be sustainable, not having to depend on others to give us or to buy things. Now, we did have to buy and make a pretty large investment to get started, but that's the plan, is to not continue to have to buy, that we can use what we've purchased now and become sustainable with that. It's a work in progress. It's a process. It's something that we work on all the time, improving on what we did last time, and just, you know, learning as we go as well. Just learning something new each day, learning from our mistakes, and moving forward with that. That being said, that concludes our garden tour for this week. You guys have a wonderful weekend, a Memorial Day weekend. We love you guys, and don't forget, do your best and watch God do the rest. Bye-bye.